Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to a new YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, I'm going to be doing my AFL 2023 Round 1 review. So without any further ado, let's go ahead, hop right into things. Round 1 started off in the most unreal way possible with a draw to begin the season, the first draw of the year, and I do say the first draw of the year because I do believe there'll probably be at least another one. Don't know when or where, but I do feel like there probably will be another one. This could be the only draw of the year, and imagine it comes in the first game, which it has 58 all, 8-10, 58 to 8-10, 58, and it was a really scrappy, low-scoring contest. Both teams did have their moments. I liked Richmond's third quarter. I think that was definitely the best quarter they had all game. 5 goals to 2. And Carlton, they just looked composed for most of the game and did lead for most of the game and probably should have won that. A couple of definitely disappointing moments there for Carlton in that last 5 minutes, which led to that Tom Lynch goal. But other than that, though, I do think Carlton are really good. Other than those last few moments, but what a cracking way to open up the year. Geelong and Collingwood played out an absolute cracker, high-scoring shootout on Friday night, the same venue, the MCG. Geelong 16-7, 103, get beaten by Collingwood 19-11, 125. This was a cracking game of footy, and the Cats' 16-game winning streak is officially over at 16. And the Pies, they claim a massive upset in a year which I think this definitely needs to, they need to have some belief after this now. I feel like this is a really big win for their year. This is a massive win for Collingwood's year. The Cats, you can see here in the first, second and third quarters, they got out to a genuine 20-point lead every single time. The Pies' ability, though, to bring that lead back was something which I really liked about their game. Every time the Cats kicked 4 in a row, they were like, right, let's bring this game back. Let's bring this game back. We don't have to lead the game. We've just got to be in it. And in the last quarter, that is when they bursted, and that was the moment where they took over and won the game. North Melbourne and West Coast also played out a thriller to start off Saturday's games. North Melbourne 12-15, 87, West Coast 12-10, 82. What a way to start Alistair Clarkson's era at North Melbourne with a 5-point win over West Coast. It didn't come easily though. West Coast did make them fight it out to the end despite being up by over 30 points at one stage. The first quarter was a pretty even contest. Before in the second quarter, North Melbourne slowly but steadily built out to a 20-point lead at half-time, or a 21-point lead, or something like that. Before then, at three-quarter time, West Coast managing to bring back some momentum on their terms after North started the quarter well. They brought it back and almost took it home in the last quarter. However, in the end, North Melbourne just get over the line with Sheasel and Larkey having absolute breakout games. Brisbane, the side we thought they were at the start of the year, maybe not anymore, as Port Adelaide defeated them by 54 points on Port Adelaide's home deck, 18-18, 126 power to 11-6, 72 for the Lions. And despite that second quarter from Brisbane, everything else just went south from there. It was a decent first quarter by both sides. Port Adelaide, however, definitely did have the edge, being an accurate 3-5. 5-9 at half-time. You could say they did miss their chances at 18-18. Probably could have won the game by more. It was that third quarter where they turned everything over, though. An 8-goal quarter to 1. And then in the last quarter, they just continued to pile on the pain in what was a great win. Port Adelaide's midfield in the third quarter was younger, headlined by the likes of Rosie, Butters and Horne-Francis, while also Brownlow medalist Ollie Wines was in there as well, which was a dominant midfield for Port Adelaide. That was a massive quarter. Ken Hinkley, we do know the question marks around him. I feel like, at least for now, he's just put a little bit of solid surroundings around him. And yeah, I feel like this is a really important performance for Port Adelaide's start to the year. It was a 2021 Grand Final rematch on Saturday night. The D's played the Dogs at the MCG. Melbourne 17-13, 115 defeated the Western Bulldogs 9-11, 65. Melbourne were very impressive in this game, especially in the later stages. The Western Bulldogs did manage to fight out this game for 1 quarter and a half. Before then, at the end of the quarter, the D's got rocking and rolling out to about a 20-point lead at half-time, which then extended in the third and fourth quarters. Cozzy Pickett could be in a little bit of trouble for his bump on Bailey Smith. However, though, he was pretty good for the rest of the game, kicking 4 goals along with Ben Brown. However, though, the Demons just played really well in this game. The Dogs rolled a 4. to forward line. It didn't work this round, however, they do have a couple of chances to fix that up. They do have quite a hard draw to start the year, though, so maybe it could be worth trying it again, or maybe an easy opponent later on in the year and seeing if it works. But after one round, you can't quite say what this forward line is going to do. We'll just have to wait and see. For the Dogs and for the Demons, this was a real premiership contention game. They've put their name forward already. At the moment, looks like there's going to be no grand final disappointment this year for the Swans. They have looked to played really well so far, and there's going to be no fall off the year after. We do know teams in the past, after losing the grand final by a big margin, have fallen off, but I don't think this will happen to the Swans this year. Gold Coast 9-7-61, Sydney 16-14, 110 at Heritage Bank Stadium. Absolutely smashed the Suns, being in control for the whole game after kicking the first 5 goals of the game. The Suns responded with 2 late in the quarter, but yeah, in the end, they built out to a lead in the second quarter as well. And then in the third quarter, they sealed the game shut. And then in the last quarter, didn't have too bad of a quarter either. But the Swans' younger players really stood out in this game. They've got such a great young list, such a great talented young list, which is why I could not see them missing the 8 this year, especially after a great performance like this as well. And for Gold Coast, really quickly, I just feel like this is a disappointing performance by them, especially for a team that wants to make finals this year. The Adelaide Crows have choked in round 1 versus the Giants. GWS 15-16, 106 to the Crows 12-18, 90. Both these two sides were inaccurate. However, the Crows feeling that pain more, as the Giants probably should have been put away by half-time had they kicked more straight. They had 8-12 by half-time, although the Giants could have also came back that quarter because they had 4-8 by half-time. In the game, the Crows dominated for the first quarter, and the Giants in the third quarter brought it back. And then in that last quarter, it was a relatively even contest, but the Giants still did kick 5 goals to take it home. Toby Green was really impressive in his first outing as sole skipper for the Giants. In terms for the Crows, though, there was definitely, Rankin didn't play too bad, but he did have 2 goals, 5 next to his name. Rochelle was also pretty decent. But yeah, definitely inaccuracy in this game did cost both sides from a bigger win. The Bombers absolutely smashed the Hawks in both these 2 games' first game of the year. Hawthorn 9-11-65, Essendon 19-10, 124. They looked really good, did the Bombers. They put on more defensive pressure, more pressure in general. And the Hawks, I don't know how they're going to go this year. Again, we saw this game, they did have a little bit of problem scoring. And their defence obviously wasn't that great as well, getting 124 scored against them, no dramas at all. It was a relatively close game for the first quarter and a half as well, for the first quarter and 2/3, but just let the game slip away at the end of that second quarter. And then this third quarter so far in round 1 has been an absolutely big quarter. That's where the Bombers got away and continued on that way in the last quarter to go to a massive win over the Hawks by 59 points. Ross Lyon beats his former side to finish off round 1 in a bit of style. St Kilda 10-7-67 beat the Dockers 7-10-52. What an upset to end off round 1. And Ross Lyon against his former side for the Saints' 150th anniversary year starts the year off in some style. This was a really defensive game where your defence had to be switched on, and both sides' defence was, which I was really impressed with. It was a really close game for really quarters 1 and 2. In the third quarter, the Dockers looked to have the skip, but in the last quarter, the Dockers kicked 4 behinds. The Saints kicked 4 goals, which turns out to be the turning point to end up make the Saints win. And I feel like many players in this game had some really good outings, which was absolutely incredible. It was a low-scoring game, but it was an absolute thriller to end off round 1. And here is the ladder to end off round 1, so let's go ahead and go through that right now. Round 2 also has some big games, but tomorrow will be my round 2 preview. So I'm not going to preview round 2 here. Tomorrow will be my round 2 preview, so make sure to subscribe so then you do not miss that. What a round of footy round 1 was. There were some absolutely cracking matches. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so then guys will never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for the support, everyone. Flaming Footy out.